make sure that we get to those. Perfect, Katrina. Thank you.
Sounds good. Okay, let me go ahead and pull myself up. Give me one moment. As we know, we have so many screens all the time.
Always, always.
All right. And here we go. I apologize for a little bit of delay, but okay. Our wonderful technology applications, sometimes, of course, we know they do what they want to do.
Apropos. That's why we're here to learn.
Okay, what's going on? Am I sharing my screen? Do you see my screen?
I do not see your screen right now.
Okay, hold on. Let's see what's going on. Let me try it one more time. Okay, here we go. All right. Is it up now?
We are here.
Awesome. All right. So let's get the ball rolling. Again, welcome everyone. My name is Katrina Turnbow Marion, and we will actually be talking about increasing your sales with Google tools today. Again, I am the founder of Canopy Social, a boutique digital marketing agency, and also the privilege for the last 6 going on 7 years to be your Michigan Growth Google Digital Coach. This is a great way for you to stay connected to me. On my personal page, Katrina Turnbow, I got to update that because it's Katrina Turnbow Marion. And of course, we would love for you to tag Digital Coaches Program on Instagram and around the social sphere, because Google actually keeps up with this type of information, and we love to see how all of our learners participate. And we would really love it if you catch a story or anything like that, whatever captures you, and make sure you post it online and tag us. And of course, if you were interested after this conversation, if you wanted to reach out directly, here is a link to actually reach out to me, which I'll go back to at the end. So, as Tiffany mentioned today, what we'll be talking about is showcasing your Google business profile, listing products on Google, and setting yourself up for success. And depending upon how much time we have, I'll dive a little bit deeper into creating a measurement plan around analytics, which definitely brings many of these components together. So, please identify yourself as brick and mortar or e-commerce, or are you both? We would love to know in the chat just where you represent in the overall ecosystem of the small business owners today on our webinar. So I'm going to keep going, but I want you to put this in your mind. List 3 things you want consumers to know about your business. Just kind of earmark that, because as we go along, I want you to be able to reference back towards those 3 things that you want your customers to know about your business. Oftentimes, having these 3 focal points makes the opportunity to connect with your customers a lot easier. So let's go. Okay, here we go. So let's actually look at one of our business owners. This is actually Woodward Throwbacks. They are local here in Michigan with me. Over the last several years, they went into the business of revitalization homes and vintage furniture and different things like that. A very unique business model, because of course they're reselling, out of date or antique and furniture and other things like that. Very unique to the homes in Detroit. And one of the things that they really leveraged and saw was the improvement in their overall profile and visibility was Google My Business. So when you look at this, this looks as if it's just your regular phone, right? We search and we, go online and we try to find whatever we're looking for. And when you click on the business, this is exactly what you see. You get the business profile. But what has so easily and so seamlessly integrated into our lives is actually a Google product. So when you are searching on your phone and you see this actual display, this is a Google business profile. And as you can note here, you have the name of the organization, reviews. Those are really high. How many times have you already clicked on it and to read the reviews, right? Immediately upon discovering the business, go through the photos. Of course, now you may want to know if you're trying to reach them. Is it in person, brick and mortar? Is it online? And of course, highlights, meaning what are your capabilities of interacting with that small business? Is it in-store shopping? Is it in-store pickup? A lot of these things are very important for customers to know now, especially after COVID. There are so many things that now businesses need to describe and tell to let let customers know that this is the business and their setup is exactly what they're looking for personally for them. So once you go from Google My Business Profile in your phone, how many times have you clicked a little deeper, maybe even got instructions, right? And directions. And now you can also find them by going on Google Maps. I can tell you my search history and activity has definitely changed. I personally right now oftentimes will search in Google Maps. So as you can see here, it says searches containing near me in stock, right? Have grown in US by more than 90% year over year. That's pretty significant. Well, that's referring to being able to connect a business and they have the item. But if you look at this overall map, one of the things that's so fantastic about it, it not only shows you the business, but of course the other businesses in the area. So oftentimes when I'm making decisions about how I want to structure my day, and maybe the other small businesses are in the area that I could possibly patronize, I actually leverage a map in terms of being able to predict and kind of plan out my day. How do you get all of this information up online and make sure a customer has the ability to see it? Okay, this is where you start and what's really important. To set up your Google My Business profile, what you have to do is go to google.com/business. And what we'll be doing is talking about completing that business profile. How do you get the verification? And then in the interim, upload all of this information that's operating in the background. So just as you have your social media profiles, your website profiles, and basically any of your other digital footprint profiles, your Google business profile is so significant because oftentimes, as we know, they are discovering you. They don't know you yet. So the keywords that they use to get to you led them here to your business. But you need to be able to track that. As you can see here, your business on Google for Woodward Throwbacks came up in 75,000 views this month, which means the searches. But in addition to that, here are all of the components of the back end that you have the opportunity to modify, update, change, schedule out, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So have you ever went on a profile, looked at it online, and you I wonder why they don't have as much information as the previous business owner? Well, that may be because you did not claim your business profile of what we're doing today. So one of the things that is really important in developing your sales footprint online is having this profile completely filled out. Again, you cannot make the assumption that someone is going to type you in by name. The majority of the world will discover you through keyword search, maybe referral, and you need to be prepared for that by making sure all of your profile information is properly updated. The business name, your category, a full description, hours, location, and so much more as we saw. In addition to that, one of the things that emerged during the pandemic were the actual ability to have attributes placed on your profile. So, oftentimes if you want to search Black-owned woman marketing company, such as myself, having this attribute would actually make you be a part of that search engine optimization point of you being able to be seen. Maybe you want to know you identify as a woman-owned business. As you can see here, disabled owned, indigenous owned. All of these attributes are significant in terms of making sure the customer really knows you on an intimate level, understands some of your values, who you identify with or of, and then it allows the customer to further buy into who you are as a customer, as a business or a brand. So how do you set them up? In the background, as you are configuring all the information, this is where you can go in and simply click yes or no, and these attributes will then be placed on your profile. So, you know, we live in an age today of shopping habits are built around convenience and spontaneity. That is the absolute truth. You need to know what's open. You need to know what the phone number is. You need to know all of the things, right, that allow you to connect with that business in that moment. So as you can see here, searches for and literally typing in store open have grown globally, as you can see here, for over 400% year over year. That is such a significant statistic because it is clearly showing you that people want to know, number one, your hours, but more importantly, people are not just looking for your hours. They're simply asking, are you open now or not? Oftentimes, establishments may be closed on Mondays because they're open Tuesday through Sunday. It may be a holiday, whatever the case may be. And you need to be able to accurately reflect that in terms of your hours. So being able to go in the back end and properly set these hours up, again, is where it happens in your profile. You can also change these hours for holidays, special occasions at your actual business, and your ability to modify this ahead of time is so important. So that kind of takes care of your overall, you know, I call it the bread and butter of just knowing who your business who your business is. But now you have the opportunity to be able to feature deals, discounts, promotions, and more. A lot of people are not aware that Google actually allows you to put in that are very specific to what you are trying to feature, which therefore is in turn searchable, very specifically around, as you can see here, new showroom hours, free shipping on reclaimed serving boards, and different items like that. Woodward Throwbacks is, you know, highlighting certain and promotions they have going on, and it's to view the. Can you imagine going online and this being the first thing that you see in a Google? You know why? Because that's intentional. You know that person actually looking for, you know, a problem to be solved. And if you're coming out the gate with information and opportunity and rewards in order to support that search, that probably is going to put you in alignment with that customer. How do you set them up? Again, I have the ability to put in dates, offers, and events. So as you put it, you can very similarly do the same thing here in the back end of Google Business Profile. Here is a great testimonial in terms of being able to have all of these things placed out front and immediately being able to garner reviews from it. So how do you connect with your customers and reviews? One of the questions I get often is, I got a negative review. How do I handle it? I got a review on Google. I don't know how to get to it. Set up your Google Business Profile. It is extremely important in this day and age now to be able to connect with your customer and respond to them in a customer ability to connect and have a two-way exchange conversation. And you should be participating in that. Google wants to know that you are responding to your customers, and that actually will support a positive signal in terms of your business and your ability to connect with your customer. So it's one of those things where the more you interact with your customers online, the more often the algorithms, of course, will see that. And ultimately, you can just say there is a reward for knowing that, hey, when Woodward Throwbacks, you know, has a comment or a review, they're going in. And yes, simply saying thank you and responding to the review does matter. Just as if you have a negative comment, you need to approach it from the standpoint of being polite, explaining, you know, and address any issues in a very constructive manner that will allow you possibly to take it offline. That is probably one of the biggest areas that people really struggle with on how to properly deal with. And what you want to do is try to get that conversation in your wheelhouse of how you support your customers when they have issues. You do not have to have a full exchange in the review area. But what you must do is address it, because oftentimes, as we know, customers just simply want resolution. They may be frustrated or dissatisfied at that point, but with great customer service and care, you have the opportunity to connect with them and have them follow up with a problem-solving review. People like to know what happened, as many of us do, right? A cliffhanger on many shows, you always want to know what happened. Well, it is the same in the area of reviews. So how do you actually garner these reviews? On the back end, you can actually share through email, you can actually obtain a social link, or you can obtain just a dedicated link that you can share almost on all platforms. And as you can see here also, there's an opportunity to even share in WhatsApp. So this gives you the ability to share on multiple platforms in many ways, and it goes directly to your Google reviews, and you should ask for them. Google reviews, again, is extremely important in terms of being able to connect with your customer. So how do products actually appear on your Google business profile? Again, another question that we get a lot about. You actually can go in and create a product catalog and align it with product posts as carousels. That is huge. So you can go in, put in the name, the category, the description, and link it back to your webpage. That could be an Amazon webpage, that could be a social link. So it's not that it has to be your actual website, but wherever you would like to direct that traffic as it relates to the product. That's really cool, because this is yet another way that your product is natively synced into Google's platform, and you are now searchable. But not just that, you're featuring your products outwardly in front of all your customers as soon as they hit your page through Google. So even though they may not make it to your website, what if they only saw that one product that they wanted and they made the purchase and the sale from there? They didn't have to go to your website, because what you provided was the product or the service that they were looking for, which is so important. Now, as of recently, in terms of being able to align retailers for an easy way to manage and align your in-store products to Google, there's actually a platform called Pointy with Google.com. As you can see here, it says attract local customers to your brick and mortar store by showcasing your products on Google. Pointy has the ability to connect to your POS, your point of sale platform, scan your products, and they appear on your Google profile. So this is a new technology and software that allows you to basically integrate directly from your brick and mortar into your Google business profile. They can also surface on Google Search, Maps, and Shopping when people are nearby or have products within your store. That is a big one, because as we all know, when you are driving and depending upon your proximity, you want to be able to come up as near me, or, in an area that even if you're going to and you put that in, it helps you to better predict some of the things that maybe you are trying to look for, trying to buy. Well, guess what? Not only are you being recommended, but now you actually have a real in life, on time, in real time, syncing of your actual inventory, which, as we know, with the brick and mortar store, having your inventory up to date is critical. So again, I'll come back to this. Pointy.withgoogle.com. Dig a little bit deeper into that in terms of how it works, but this is a great resource to be able to keep you in alignment with what you have in store and what you want to provide online. Again, here are the points. If you have a physical store that customers can visit, most of the products you can carry have a UPC/EAN barcodes that scan at your register. Again, that goes into a lot of the specifics when you have a retail store and this type of inventory. So once you get your entire business profile claimed and, filled out, what happens now? Now, even if you don't have even if you need to connect additional additional products and services, and maybe you don't have a brick and mortar and your e-commerce, well, now you can also work with Google Merchant Center, which again is free. So at the top, as you can see here, where it has, they're typing in running shoes and whatnot, you have the ability now to make sure all your products are sourced and put there. One of the things that's really great about Google Merchant Center, there's also a partnership with Shopify. So now there is actually integration for you to take your inventory for Shopify and put it onto Google Merchant Center. So again, when you have it in this shopping mode, as you can see here, it allows for the availability to be able to have more of the description, what's in stock, having those components of delivery. So again, being able to see a lot of those critical buying points or information points that a customer is looking for is put right there in the Google search. On the back end, of course, on the search end, when you're selling your products on store, in store or online, it is going to be categorized, and now it becomes a part of that entire shopping tab. And when you are actually aligned and have your images up, if you've never noticed, this little ticket looks like a little sales ticket. Well, that is how the images are being labeled, which also means that you can purchase them. So again, it is that ability for all components of Google to be interconnected to drive the customer to solve all of their problems, or as we say, obtain all of their wants. So how does Google Merchant Center work on a back end? You do have to create an account. This again is a standalone product. You have your products uploaded. Depending upon how this is done, again, there are integrations that will allow you to do this, there are steps. Again, if you go to g.co/merchant center setup, as you see here on the screen, you can learn a lot more about that in terms of the mechanics of how that works. And then now you are available to have your products showcased across Google Shopping. So many customers, or I'll say small business owners, right, are just getting started out. And where you want to be able to check out will be very, very helpful in terms of being able to know, do you want to check out on Google? Do you want to check out in the actual local store and other things like that, or even in your website, on your website? So having the availability also, you guys, is really important in terms of knowing how you can purchase the item. Oftentimes now, especially when for them, you're purchasing furniture or maybe some of those other larger items, you need to know whether or not it can be shipped. It may be some products that really are only for a local sale, and that is part of maybe their business model, or you have to arrange for external or third-party shipping. Being able to know this type of information and these type of attributes is so significant in terms of you being able to evaluate what you would like to buy and how do you want to interface with the customer. So you can also, which is really cool, as you saw before, we had the area where it featured products, the events, and the highlights. Well, you can actually take products and now you can add them in directly also. So it's a great way, just different methodology in terms of you being able to enter products one at a time, or even if you need to create a product feed. So again, that product feed ties into something like a Shopify, or you could have it uploaded through Google Sheets. Google Merchant Center, you really need to make sure, again, it's a fit for you, but there are a few things that you have to have in order to activate this product. You have to have products that are available for direct purchase. Okay? You have to have a secure checkout process, and you must have a return policy. When you are going through your integration with Google Merchant Center, it will authenticate these things. So understanding how you have everything set up, making sure it's secure, again, products are available for purchase is how you are able to set up that entire lost of words, set up their entire product. So at this point, you have your Google business profile, you set up your merchant center, you have all your attributes, right? And you are pretty much good to go. So now it's time to get ready for the shoppers. As we know, we are using our digital platforms significantly now to hold our wallets and all types of other ways to make payment. Well, as you can see here, we are now using GPay, Google Pay, also where you go in and you're enable that setting so that Google Pay can be featured in terms of an option for you to collect a payment. And make sure that your overall website, again, is in alignment with a cell phone strategy. You know, you have to be mobile friendly in this day and age. So I always highly suggest business owners take the time to look at your cell phone visibility versus a desktop or even a tablet. Make sure your overall layout and renderings and everything as it relates to your brand are consistent and they look great. So as we continue, I just want to check in because we're halfway through and I wanted to actually switch over because those were some of the tools, but I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more in terms of developing a measurement plan as it relates to really setting yourself up for success to leverage these tools. So Tiffany, I'll stop and ask, are there any questions or anybody would like to have a chat? As I was going, of course, I couldn't see everything then, but I just wanted to make sure and check in.
No, I love that. So much information. I'm sitting over here taking notes. I'm super excited because this will be this training that you're doing is in perfect timing right before the holidays. It gives us time to set this up as business owners while we're in the holidays or just to maintain it. In the chat, Katrina, we have a comment and they shared, I put a link to rate my product in my profile. I love that. Options in Google to rate my product. What is your experience or your thoughts on that?
I actually think that's really good. So if she's if I'm understanding correctly, so of course you have the stars. So what I'm understanding is it that she was asking whether or not they should, out of a 1 to 5, she's giving them what 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is, or is it she just saying that she's sending the link to ask them to give a rate or a review? Are you
Great question. And if you're in there, I can definitely respond back and forth and get back to you on that. But yeah, it stated I put a link to rate my product in my LinkedIn profile. That was the comment.
Oh, that's actually, so it sounds like she is taking the actual review and putting it out put it in her LinkedIn profile, because you can give a review or whatnot. And I believe, give it a star or whatnot. So hopefully I think I'm answering it properly, but I think that's very creative in a great way, especially if you are a B2B business or a B2C business and you're looking for additional ways to connect to. That's really awesome. I think that's one of the first times that I've actually heard that in that manner, which is great.
She says you're correct. Yep, that's great.
Okay,
Thanks,
cool. So I want to talk a little bit more time. So I'm adding and bolt on one of our conversations that actually is my favorite. Google Analytics and understand analytics. I'm going to give you guys kind of an overview. I'm going to go into why this is so with Google Analytics, 2 things called dimensions and metrics. Dimensions are the attributes and the characteristics, and the metrics are quantitative. So a dimension would be something such as the visitor, return traffic system. Because in Google Analytics, you gain a significant amount of data. This is where the plan actually comes in. So let's just our tools, we are working great with them. You have your Google business, you have your Google Merchant Center, you have your Google Business Profile, And you're saying, okay, I got all this traffic, but I know more, because in this digital infused truly do. Google looking at, you know, your stats from Google Business Profile and also Google Ads, if you are leveraging those, if you're using Google YouTube, Google YouTube, if you're using YouTube, all of these things have measurements available for you to be able to really begin understanding the behavior of your customer. Data is king in order to make educated decisions about your business that will further support you to be in alignment with your overall customer. And you are looking to learn things such as how many sessions have they come to, how many page views, how long are they on your website, how many users did you receive that month. And as you saw it in a small window of Google Business Profile, that is related to Google Business Profile, right? And it's able to track a significant amount of that activity in terms of searches, calls, directions, and those things. But you need to now drill down to the next layer, and that's where Google Analytics actually comes in. So dimensions can be used to segment data. This is really cool because what it is doing, as you can see here through an example, and we're going to get a little bit more into it, is that it's really giving you the opportunity to take a lot of the information that you are gaining and layer it together. So if you knew how many people came from the country that you were possibly realizing that the multiple countries that you were coming up in searches, you knew exactly how they were coming to you, be it email, paid search, or organic search. And then you know the business versus the duration. Well, this allows you to make great educated decisions on maybe where you need to feature yourself more. So really what Google Analytics allows you to do, as it says here, is to mix and match dimensions to freely form very specific segments that can be analyzed for behavioral trends and customer insights. Again, the internet is so powerful because it is all of the data that you are gathering about your customer and their online behavior. Oh, let me go past here a little bit. Okay, so I want to go ahead and show you just some of the great features in the back end of what Google Analytics looks like. So get to know different reports. So in the back end, you have a significant amount of reports, actually shows you and aligns to the customer journey of your of that learner or that person coming to your website. And a lot of these reports are very standardized in terms of being able to select the date range you want to look at, being able to customize the filters in terms of some of the, as it showed there, the dimensions versus the metrics, the ability to compare behavior, and not only that, customize and save. One of the most powerful things with Google Analytics in terms of reporting and maybe being able to make some predictable behavior in the future is what's happening real time. What results are happening on your website in this moment? You're able to monitor immediate traffic and determine if a promotion is driving the traffic that you're looking to gain. There is a report called the acquisition report. Oftentimes I get all the time. Where do my customers come from? Well, Google Analytics actually supports you knowing where they actually come from. Is it direct, meaning that they typed you in? Is it cross-network? Is it referral? Did it come from an ad, paid search, organic search? And now in Google Analytics 4, you actually have organic video. So even being able to track the video in terms of where they are coming from, again, YouTube being owned by the Alphabet company, so Google and YouTube are brother and sister, but they're the #1 and the #2 search engines in the world. So being able to see the traffic and be able to measure it with Google Analytics for YouTube is pretty significant. Engagement. What do people do on the site? Where are they going? Is it sticky? How long are they staying? What are the pages and the screens that they're actually really actively participating with? Being able to see this type of behavior clearly will be able to help you determine what's working, what's not. Does that align to what your sales are saying? Here's another one that's really big. What's not working? maybe you will figure out why it's not working. Maybe you'll be able to look and say, you know what, we thought this was a great product. Not only is it not demonstrating sales, well, we now have the information and the data to support that it isn't working, because we're barely getting any page views or any type of engagement on our site as it relates to this. Google Analytics also supports you on the monetization side for e-commerce, which again, even if you have a brick and mortar store and you have your e-commerce properly tied together, all of this is going to be to your benefit. They actually now have a monetization tab that, as you can see now, e-commerce purchases, in-app purchases, user purchase journey, so significant in your ability, again, to make educated decisions about how you need to move forward with your customer. Oftentimes you need to know how frequently people are coming back to your site. So it's great to be able to look at this from new users versus returning users. As you can see there is a 10,000 person gain in terms of the new users versus returning. So understanding all of these metrics really supports you being able to connect with your customer, whether it's at the brand awareness stage, all the way to the retention stage of what we call brand loyalty. Here's a really big caveat. A lot of people don't think about this, especially as a business owner, if you're not living in this world. What platforms your customers use is actually pretty important. So example, if you are a B2B customer, probably you're going to be able to see that you have a lot of desktop usage, right? Understanding how your customer interacts with you on that device is very important. If you have a lot of cell phone customers, and even down to the breakdown of Android versus iOS, everyone who has an Android or iOS has had the experience of texting someone, and someone in the group chat is a Android user, and the group chat sometimes gets fragmented. It's because of devices. So understanding the technology that your customers are leveraging is really important, because it will also allow you to know how things are rendering, and if there are possibly any issues in the past, or in the future, you can even look to the area of technology saying, hey, we really might be having a technology, and it's not that it is a content issue. We really need to make some changes as it relates to how we are showing up on these devices, and how does that overall, how do those overall interactions happen? So a couple of things that are pretty new also in Google Analytics is the search box. So we all now are aware and totally integrating AI to our lives. And with that includes being able to ask in Google Analytics some natural language questions. So what you are able to do is ask questions that will help you understand and act upon your data. So an example, in other classes, we do this live, but type a word or phrase or basic question in the search inbox. Search for instant answers, search for reports, search for account or property configuration. So before, you used to have to know where all of these things, as you can see here in the example, what's so awesome is that it's showing your recently viewed overviews, keywords that they did by searches. And then here, Ask Analytics Intelligence, that it's actually prompting for you to actually look at how significant that data is as it relates to your business. So if you cannot see it, but I'll just these three. What are top cities by how many users from organic search in the last 30 days? On what day do I get the most users? Now able to have, again, the ability to ask the questions that make sense as a business owner, someone who's looking at growth. These are pretty critical points in terms of integrating into your traditional business model. So these of analytics are so great that even analytics and the platform now allow you to know when condition changes, create other customer and alerts in your account. This is pretty significant because oftentimes a dramatic change on your website happens, you may not know, right? But being able to set up these alerts, very similar to a Google alert, just like what you do with news. Now you can do this for your data, which again is just critical in terms of you being able to have a real top line sight of what's happening with your business. There's a new area also, well, redesigned to be called explorations for in-depth insights. So you can access also seeing, page by page, how people are interacting with you. So it's not just at one level, but you can drill down so much further. And as you can see here, you can type in the actual name, you can give it the dimensions, what type of metrics you want to see, and then again, customize this to be able to reflect your business as a whole. So with that, I'm actually going to stop because this will take us down another rabbit hole, but excuse me. Okay. So with those three platforms, I really just wanted to reinforce to you just how important it is to have your digital footprint in alignment with Google as a whole. As we saw, being able to have your Google Merchant Center set up, integrating your products and service, the anchor to all of this and your visibility would be Google Business Profile, and really being able to make sure when you show up online, your customer shows up online, you show up online. And that's so critical because again, think about the behavior of your customer. They do not know you per se, not right now, but in order for them to connect with you, you should be able to give them all the information that you can to begin their journey with you as a product, a service, and more importantly, your brand, where they can connect with you on all platforms and really engage with you in terms of what they're buying or their personal experience online is as a whole. So with that, I'll take a pause and ask for any other questions as it relates to anything that we've looked at today.
Super efficient. Oh, as always, per usual, Katrina, in your classes. I have to say, while I was listening to you and I was getting so excited because you were making it seem, those that already use Google understand that the analytics, how it benefits your business. But for some of us that have never really dive deep into it, you made it look extremely user-friendly. And as I was listening to you, I thought, wow, yes, this does allow you to get to know your business more. Data matters. We say that all the time at US Black Chambers. Black data matters. It is important to understand your data. Why? To understand your customer. But even further, and you all know this, to understand and analyze the data of your business only sets you apart when you're applying for access to capital, when you're pitching for your contracts. Why? Because you understand in between the lines of your business. It helps you, data helps you tell your story every single time on a level that is non-competitive. Yeah?
Yes. On a level that's non-competitive. I think that's so important for you to really outline that and bring that out, because oftentimes you may feel like you have to figure out, oh, this competitor, that competitor. No, when you have your data, you are able to focus, stay on your North Star path, and really deliver the information as it relates to you. If you are doing your job, the job will work for you. And that is your business. If you are really on top of your business, building out this data, understanding the data, and putting it in action and alignment, it's going to make a huge difference. Tanisha said, how can we get additional help with setup and use with working with this platform? Okay. So a couple of things, all of the links, which we do have a handout that pass out to send over to the US Black Chamber distribution for those who registered and attended today. But I would honestly tell you that Google has awesome they have awesome resources as it relates to, okay. Awesome resources as it relates to, so I'm just trying to pull it up, as it relates to understanding the platforms, right? And I'll just give you this one. Let me see.
Sorry, go ahead, Katrina.
Yeah, so if I'm just Googling this now. So here's a great one, just in terms of the update, because the Google Analytics that is available now is really, really the updated version. Last year, earlier this year in July, there was a change, and a lot of these new features, of course, weren't available. So I will, I will actually give you guys, this is very specific again to Google Analytics. If you are not aware of it, never used it, and just want to learn more, this is an instructional that really walks you through to allow you to get to know it on a lot more intimate level. And it's an at your own pace type of course. The information for Google Merchant Center and Google Business Profile is actually related, will be in this handout that you'll be provided. So there are, again, Google has excellent resources all over the web. As they say, Google it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for such great time. The information you gave today is essential for me to grow and know my business. That is the name of the game. You guys, the data that is available at your fingertips now are what Super Bowl ads and all advertising was all about. We have the power of data in our hands equivalent to Nielsen and all of these other, high powered, just historically knowledge marketing research firms. You are actually able to gather this level of data. This is truly the game changer for small businesses, which is why it's so important for us to have this information, especially as maybe a Black or brown founder, or come from a disadvantaged scenario, or say you're really experiencing growth in your community. I live in Detroit. Detroit was not a popular place to be some years ago, and I don't mean that far off. As large as we were in footprint, being able to have our businesses online in Detroit was so significant, because you needed to let people know who you were, the quality of your business, the value that you bring, and knowing that we are definitely competitive in the local market too. Shelly asked, can you speak about Google local services ads for getting leads, including Google Screened and Google Guaranteed badges? Okay, Shelly, so I would tell you, can she come off mute? Tiffany?
Yeah, let me unmute her for sure.
Shelly, can you come off mute, please?
Because thank you.
I've never heard of, where you have seen or heard of Google Screen and Google Guarantee badges?
I can put a link in the chat. My partner uses it for his roofing business in St. Louis. I intended to use it. So if someone types fix roof from St. Louis, his roofing company will up as a lead. His roofing will come up at the lead for needing that roof damage repair. Google Screened, so this is a valid business, or Google Guaranteed. If you use this business and something goes wrong, we will guarantee that service to an extent.
That's a third party. I can tell you right now, that is not Google.
Okay.
So,
I'll put the link in the chat anyway.
Yeah, please do, because this is good to know. So a couple of things that I want to tell people on a national level. Couple of things. Google will never call you. I want everybody to know that if you ever get a call from anyone and they say this is Google calling, that's not technically true. Now, Will they possibly be a Google partner or something of that nature? Very, very true. But that is third party. Google will not guarantee anything. They can't in the space and the scope and the sphere they live. So what it sounds like, okay, I didn't see it. Well, did you put it in the chat, Shelly?
I had to grab it first.
Okay, cool. So what it sounds like to me may be okay, that's ads.local.com. Okay. We're getting ready to learn together.
Mm-hmm.
So just in the interest of time, I'm actually going to share the screen so everybody can see it. I'm not going to speak to it. So this is a proper, wait. Am I on the wrong page? Oh, sorry. I just needed to close my stuff out. Hold on, let me close these out. All right. So this is what share, okay, get Google local services ads cost. Oh, so, okay. So this is I'll just speak to for what I know. So this is a disclaimer. There is now a small business division, from what I understand, that Google is supporting leads, as you say. And there is a service that has to be screened. Wow, this is when you learn together. Okay, so basically what will end up happening is you are getting set up with the ads team, and they are walking you through a process, or this department, let me just put it that way. They're walking you through that apparently is in alignment with their guarantee. So I actually cannot speak to this directly, but I am aware as of recently that there been some conversation, and it has been brought up from our standpoint in terms of this type of service. So I do not know if they are doing this across the gamut or whatever the case may be. So again, I just want to scroll down and just make sure. Okay, grow your, yep, that's yeah, I would dive into this a little bit deeper. I'm actually going to ask. So this is, again, it looks like a new product or service that is being offered by this department, Google Local Service Ads. So again, I have seen the call for small businesses to get some assessment. And from there is a cost associated with it in terms of hiring them. So these are the type of things, though, I can honestly tell you that Google is really, really being, I would say, try to be forward leading with, being able to look at some of the issues that you have and design them. So I just want to, the one thing that I'm looking at that I see different here is this looks like setting up basics with setting up a Google ad, where there's an easy process, which is setting up Google Ads is pretty easy anyway.
I feel like I know what my next request for your class will be, right?
It will be this.
We'll dive into this. I'm super excited. In keeping time on, it is the top of the hour. Katrina, out of respect for everyone on the call, yourself included, we want to say thank you from US Black Chambers for all of the information that you gave us today. Again, this everyone that registered for this webinar will get an email, okay? So look out in your email. Katrina and I will get together and we will pack that email full of information for you. And please stay tuned, always plug into US Black Chambers at, what is it? USBC Black Chambers at org. Oh, I'm just excited and I'm trying to stay on time here. That's where you're going to find all of our webinars. That's where you're going to find all the programs that we're doing. And of course, always check out Buy Black certification and directory. Katrina, thank you. Anything you want to say in closing today?
No, please find me anywhere online, Katrina Turnbow Marion, all one word. That's definitely my social handles. I know my information will be shared, so you can find me anywhere online because I am probably the only Katrina Turnbow Marion that exists. So feel free to Google me to get to my social profiles, my website. I will come up. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Shelly, for bringing up some information there. If I had another 15 minutes, I would have went with it. But just know this, Google Ads is what you were asking about. Ultimately, Google Ads is yet another tool in the toolbox in order to drive traffic for your customers to see you, whether it's online, whether it's offline, but definitely increasing that visibility.
Excellent. Thank you, Katrina. And thank you again to all of the participants today. Thank you for your participation, and we will see you very soon.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.